Hey everybody, Kevin here from HumboldtCraftworks. Welcome to another episode of Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me. Today is the final episode of assembling pre-finished cabinets. We're done. Today we're going to go over plywood milling and safety, cross-cutting and ripping. We are going to use the Craig Foreman to pocket screw up all the parts. After that, we are going to talk about edge taping your cleats. I'll show you how I go about doing all that. Then we're going to assemble the carcasses or the boxes. Put all the sides together, put the cleats on it, pocket screw it all together. I'm going to walk you through all that like you're in the shop with me, and you're my apprentice, and I'm explaining to you how I go about doing this because I've done it 10,000 times. After we get done with that, we're going to put the face frame on there, the pre-finished blue face frame. And then once we get done with putting that face frame on there, we're going to use this jig right here with that hunk of paper on it to drill out the holes for the shelf pins. And I'm just going to walk you through that. Really super simple, super easy. Done, and then we're done. And I'll put some pictures up at the kitchen. It actually got crown put on it, and I'll show you the pictures with the crown on it and stuff like that. We might have a little video on how to make the easiest crown in the world, because this is the easiest crown in the world to make. And then next week's video, or the week after that, we're going to have a island bar. I made a portable island bar for the same client. It's got 4 locking casters on it. Sits 2 people, has 2 drawers, 2 doors, and an adjustable shelf in there. It's all made out of quarter sawn red oak, and it wheels around. You can wheel it anywhere. And I'm going to show you how I go about building that whole thing in the next video. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon. Okay, so here's what we're going to do today. I have scrap plywood left over from the lowers, so we're going to rip up everything we can and see what we have left over on our cut list. We're going to mill the sides and the top and the shelves today. We're going to leave the backs until the whole thing's assembled. We're doing it the easy way. We're going to put cleats on it, and then we're just going to attach the back to that and stick it to the wall. So I've got some scrap that we're going to use, and the first thing I want to do is find the good side. We want to find a side that we've already ripped and not the factory side, and the factory side is usually pretty rough. All right, we have our cut list right here. I have my yellow pen and my green pen. If you haven't seen my video on the cut list, it's over here. You don't have to watch the whole damn thing, but a lot of it's very helpful. I wish I would have known that when I was starting out, because making a cut list is super important. All right, here we go. So 12. Everything is 12 except for the shelves are all 11. Always wear a mask because this is toxic as hell. All right, here we go. So if I need something that's 12 inches wide, I'm going to rip it to 13 off a fresh sheet, because sometimes the edges of this plywood gets a little thin. Okay, so I don't know if you can see up there, down here, this side is putty marks on it. This side here is cleaner. So this is the face right here. This is the good side. You got to check it over. This has a big old crack down it right here, and you can't see it because it's too low. You just want to check it for defects and scratches, because sometimes it gets scratches. Here's what I'm going to do. I need 2 at 12. I'm going to rip this at 25, because that'll give me a little bit off this edge, so I can rip it to 25, and then I'll flip it over and I'll cut it to 12 and then 12, and it should give me a little bit, because this edge sometimes is crap. All right, so here's how I handle the sheet. When I go to grab the sheet, I'm down here really low, and I just bend my knees and I just pick up. So I'm not using my back, I'm just using my legs. That's the easiest thing for me to do. So now the back, which is the crappy side, is going to go onto the table saw. And I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to try to pick it up over here without getting stuck on this guy, because that happens sometimes. Hopefully the beast is out of the way now. The camera's going to be in the way. Sugar. This is the bottom. Okay, it's facing the saw. The biggest thing is you want to balance with this hand, and you want to push with this hand. You got to make sure your saw fence is locked into place and it's strong. A lot of people's fences are so weak that when you push a hunk of plywood up against it and you shove against it, it moves. So try not to tap your plywood hard against your fence, because it might move. All right, here we go. Wish me luck. So I'm going to come down just like this. Just easy down onto the table saw. Just like that. We're about 2 inches from the fence. All right, I'm going to come to the ass end of it down here, right here. I'm going to reach down and pick it up. First I'm going to turn on the table saw, because I've done that before. There we go, got to turn that damn thing on, otherwise it doesn't work. All right, now we're just going to lift up. You see how close I am to the stupid drum sander? All right, now I'm going to shove this up against the fence. As we can, and away we go. And I'm just pushing entire time. And once I get pretty close to this, then I'm going to push with this hand. Okay. Just like that. Here's what we're going to do next. We take the sheet and flip it over like this. Boom. All right. So now the good side that we just cut, but it's still face up, is going against the fence. We're going to cut it to 12 inches. I got my beautiful 12-inch mark there that I can read now. All right, now we're going to do the same thing. Against the fence, and away we go. And I'm pushing this way with this hand, and this way with this hand until I get the last foot. Pushing up against the fence with my finger and my thumb, just like this. Then I'm going to switch all the power to this hand, pushing up against the fence. I'm using my thumb and my fingers, and I'm kind of pushing like that. All right, here we go. That wasn't so bad, right? We're going to break out the beast. The beast is quite dusty. The beast. Ugh. Ugh. There she goes. I've had people ask me why I leave Betsy the Beast so stiff. And that's because I throw on hunks of plywood sometimes that are 27 inches wide, 8 feet long. I don't want it wiggling. All right, there we go. All right, the beast. Oh man. Cross-cutting we shall go. All right, now we're back to the double miter gauge workstation. Time to grease up Betsy. The old saw is getting a little irritated that she's not been greased up lately. Now we're doing all the top and bottoms. All right, so this definitely you want to do, use both of these guys. See how that works? So much better. Taking this, we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna cut it to 28 5/8. Here's the filler. I was just looking for the filler piece. I already did the right side because I overthought the whole thing and I did it right. So I just didn't write it down. I just did it in my brain automatically. See, sometimes I outsmart myself. What a dummy. See, even Squeaker's just chastising me. Sheesh. Yeah, here we go. I don't know. What do I know? I just work here. We have all our parts ready. This one already has pocket screws in it. It was left over from the lowers, I guess. So here's a trick for you. If you want to mark the pocket screws on the top, do it in pencil and then use that center mark on the Craig Foreman to actually line it up and zipper dipper. Make sure this is kind of locked into place, otherwise it loosens up as you go along. So the bottoms and the tops all get pocket screws across the front, which is going to go into the face frame, and the sides, we're just going to go into the sides. All right? And we're going to go from here. Pick the side you like that looks the best. Put the pocket screws on the other side, the ugly side. Here we go. When we're pocket screwing the sides, we're just going to put 3 across. So we're going to stop at 2 inches here and put a pocket screw in it. Then we're going to go all the way over to 6 because 6 and 6 is 12, and this is how wide this is. We're going to put a pocket screw there, and we're going to come over to this side, push the plywood to the side where it says 2 inches, and do it again. I'll put a little picture up here as I'm doing it. Ready? Here we go. And there it is. Okay. Next we're going to do the cleats. And all these cabinets are done exactly the same way. This has a huge scratch in the back. This is the beautiful side. See, this is 3 inches wide, so we're gonna go to the 1 inch mark, which is, I have a picture of it somewhere. And then 1 inch on either side of the center. So here we go. All right, just like that. So I do everything exactly the same way every single time. I try to lay out the screws almost the same way every single time. I try to keep them like 6-8 inches apart. Some I don't, some I actually cram right in there just to get an extra screw in there. There you go. So we're gonna assemble these next as soon as I finish up these last two. And I think I'm gonna edge tape all this. I'll show you how I go about edge taping it. It's pretty simple. You do have to go buy one of these guys, whoever the hell makes this thing. Vertex, whatever, this thing. I'll show you how to edge tape a little bit and then we'll start assembling. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some edge tape on these guys right here. Where's the edge tape? We're gonna leave it about 1 inch beyond either side. Okay, so now we have a couple little pieces of this edge tape. Peel the back off of it. This is the hardest part of the job right here. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna peel some of it off. All right, so we're gonna start over here. I'm centering it with my fingers like this. I'm just pinching it. Pull that out a little bit and do the same thing. Just kind of feel your way through it. You know, like your first date or something. Oh my goodness. Boom. And we have this with way too much on the end. Let's see how this cuts. Sometimes this doesn't. It kind of works. There we go. Just kind of sort of cut that off. Okay. So I don't know if you can see the back of that. So it's sticking up a little bit. It's like a 1/16 inch reveal around the whole thing. So now we're going to take this guy and we're going to rub it on there. This is the Edgebander 4000. It's made out of sapele and has a finish on it with a slight round over. It works well. Okay, and I'm actually pushing down on the edges really hard because I want that tape to actually bond. And if you don't like the way that thing works, you get out the mauler. That'll put it in there. All right, it shouldn't come off anymore. All right, here we go with the curly Q maker. The curly Q maker. There's little arrows, little tiny arrows. Which way you put it on here like this, you give it the old squeeze, and you just make little curly Qs. And that's supposed to make that El Flesho. It works pretty good. Sometimes you got to do it both directions. Sometimes it peels off. Sometimes it just rips off. Who the hell knows? And then what we do is we take the little crimpers here and cut it off. Okay, so now we have it like this. We're going to do this again. We're going to do the edges. Now, I have an ultra-fine little fine file. This is my file card. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take it like this, and we're just going to go back and forth a little bit just to give it a slight round over. Because you don't want that sharp, not that anybody's going to touch it or anything, but you don't want it sharp. All right, here we're going to do it again. So I start and I kind of roll over. And then I'm going to go straight down like this. And that's all nice and smooth. Another thing you do is take some 220. Here's some 220 right here. Ease the edge in the back. Ease the edge in the front. Not too much because you don't want to take off the finish. That way it's smooth. It's the wrong species of wood, but when it's up here, I don't think anybody's going to notice. All right, everybody, it's time to assemble some cabinet carcasses, cabinet boxes, whatever you want to call them. First thing I'm going to do is I take off the pencil marks that are in here. The way I go about doing that is I get myself a little rag and I put some water on the rag first, just a little bit, just so it's damp, and then I take some lacquer thinner, right? And I just wipe these off because it just goes away instantly. Takes pencil off super fast. What you don't want to have happen is the lacquer thinner just sit on your finish because it'll eat a hole in it. That's why I put a little bit of water on here. Just kind of dilutes it a little bit. If I had some denatured alcohol, that might work good too. Okay, we have our cleats here. We have whatever these are. This is the top and bottom. We'll make that the top. It's going to go up here like this. We'll throw that up there. And this will be the bottom. It's going to sit in like this. All right, there it is like this. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to line our sides up the right way. So here's the sides, here's the pocket screws. So the way these are built is going to be just like this. Okay, I'm going to pocket screw the bottom of this into here, and then we're going to pocket screw the top of that into there also as well. And then this will get pocket screwed into the face frame. So will this side, so will that side, so will the other side. And then we'll put the cleats in. We could do this one of two ways. I like to do it this way so I can get flush on the top. And we're just gonna use just a regular old clamp here. Little 24-inch lightweight clamp. I'm gonna put it on the top. All right, today we're using the coarse thread 1¼ inch screws. It's great for holding together plywood, not so much for solid wood. Make sure this is flush up here. Again, I like to use my finish hammer instead of a dead blow. It just seems to tap better. Same with the face frames. Okay, once we got this pretty well flush on the top here and on the side back here, I'm going to tighten that up pretty good. We have our clutch set to 9 again. See how that works. It works pretty good. So we're using a square drive bit with a magnetic tip. Kind of helps to hold them in place. Just like when you're pocket screwing face frames together, don't put your hand in the way in case you slip, because you don't want to go into your thumb or your palm or anything like that, because that happens. 3 screws in the side, like they all have, because they're only 12 inches wide because they're uppers. Okay, pocket screws, flush here and flush here. Do we want to just keep going around in circles? Yeah, we can. Why not? Pocket screws to the outside, the beautiful smooth part to the inside, and yeah. Pocket screws are now going down this way, so I'm going to put this in like this. So this would be the inside right here. Clamp this puppy together. It doesn't have to be perfect when you start clamping it, just as long as it's sort of close and you can beat it around to where you like it. Okay, so the top are now flush. I'll put a couple in here. Careful you don't poke yourself as you're screwing towards you. All right, we're gonna work our way down, I guess. Put the middle in and then we'll do the bottom. See, that thing doesn't stick worth a shish kebab. It's dumb. So when you're screwing these in, if your clamp's not tight enough, it'll actually push your 3/4 inch piece of plywood or whatever you're screwing to in. Because it's got a slight angle to it and it kind of pushes the plywood forward. So you got to really make sure those clamps are tight. All right, there we go. So when you're putting in your cleats, if they're exact same size, sometimes you're gonna have a hell of a time getting in like this. So push it towards the middle and pull it towards you, and just like that, okay? All these little tips you're learning on how to assemble cabinets. Boy, oh boy, that deserves a like button, I think. Okay, so I'm clamping these guys into place here. What I could do is I can clamp this, and I think I'm gonna just to pull it down into place, just to make sure everything's, you know, tight as it can be and down where we want it. There we go, yeah, see it? We're gonna take an impact driver. We're going to take a little itty bitty tapered bit like this. It'll do an 1¼ inch screw, but we're actually gonna make it use an 1½ inch screw. We're gonna set a square to 3/8 of an inch. Set our square 3/8 of an inch. Well, I can see that small anymore. All right, so we have 3/8 of an inch. I'm just gonna bring it in like 6 inches. I'm just gonna poke the tip right there. This is 3/4 plywood, so 3/8 of an inch, you know, right in the center. 3/8 of an inch, right? Come up here about 6 inches from the inside. That's a dull bit. Those are really good bits, but they wear out pretty quick. Torque to 16. There we go. You want it to get in there. Get in there, boy. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there it is. Let me go find the face frame. Okay, so this should go down on here. The inside of this should fit to the inside of that. The bottom should be flush, and the top should be whatever the hell it wants to be. So that's what it'll look like. All we're gonna do is pocket screw around the outside edge. We're not gluing nothing, we're not doing squat. We're just going to pocket screw the outside edge and be done with it. So if we ever had to do anything like repair this face frame at all we do is undo the pocket screws, pull it off, and fix whatever we need, refinish it, and put it back in there. So first I want to talk a little bit about building your carcasses or the boxes for your cabinets. For me, I wanted to have the sides flush with the face frame. So what I did is I measured the opening here. I added a 1/16 of an inch just to give me a little bit of slop, and that's what I made my bottoms and tops, right? The reason I want everything flush to the inside here is I have inset doors, and the hardware is a little different. These are 2 different hinge plates that are for the blow motion inset doors. This one actually gets mounted to the back of the face frame right here, and it adjusts up and down here about 1/8 of an inch. This one attaches right to the sidewall and does the same thing. It's got a little screw there and it adjusts up and down. I prefer these to this, so that's why I want all the sides flush with the inside of the face frame, because these seem to work better. So today we're going to use the fine threaded screws that go into hardwood. You can preload them if you want, which I'm doing now, or you can just put them in one at a time. Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom because I want the bottom to be flush with this part right here, and the face frame as evenly as possible in the center. To accomplish this, we're going to lay this in place, and we're going to try to do our best to get this to line up. So we're going to use the little paper shims. If it's a little large or a little small, that's okay. The door is going to be closed and sitting right in front of it, so you probably won't see it most of the time. The important part is the flushness of the floor in this face frame right here. Okay, so we're going to start here. All right. Oh, man. We left that on 16 yesterday. That ain't no good. I'm going to work our way this way. So we started here. It feels nice and flush. We're going to work our way to the other side. These stop blocks here, and what we're going to do is we're going to it gets hinged on this side, so we're going to put this guy like this right here. So that's going to go in there like that, and then we're going to put one at the bottom. And I've already pre-installed these things when they were just face frames, so I'm just screwing them into the holes that were already there. Now we got to do the bottom, which I didn't do before because I didn't have the carcasses made, because they get attached to the plywood. And I'm just going to screw it down to where it needs to be. All right, so now we have the door stop down here and the other one up there. This is kind of a weird idea. It has to be there. It can't not be there. The next thing I could do is maybe fit, and I put cleats on the bottom here. We have cleats, so I could slide this around like this without destroying the face frame. So the next thing we could do is put the door in, I guess. What do you think? Put the door in. Hang the door. I mean, we got all the parts. Yeah. All right, everybody, stop right here. There are 2 videos right here I just made not too long ago on how to hinge your inset doors. So watch both of these videos right down here, and you'll learn everything you need to know about hinging doors and hanging them and all that crap. It's all in these 2 videos right here. So let's get to this. So we're going to use this drill right shelf pin drilling jig for the next part of the video, and I'm going to show you how to use a simple jig like this to drill out pins for an adjustable shelf. Let's go. Okay, hey everybody, we're back. All right, so we're going to use this little shelf pin drilling jig. It's like $25 on the Amazon or wherever a million years ago. Comes with a little bit like this, nothing fancy. I'm going to use this hunk of wood, whatever this is. I'm just going to set that off of there, and we're going to drill a hole. So it'll be keyed the same no matter what we do. And what I usually like to do is set it up on end like this. So I'm going to set it up like this. Here's the bottom here. I'm going to take this, put it in like so. We're going to take a little measurement here first. So from the back, it's 10.5. To the front is 11. Yeah, so we're going to go with the second hole to the back. And I drill every other hole, all the way to the top, and that's enough. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to come this way and do the exact same thing. And we're going to go the farthest hole to the back. I have tape on every other hole, see that? And that's what we're using every other hole, because you don't need that many holes in here. Okay, there we go. Olé. Now we're gonna do the other side the exact same way. See if those are the right ones. Look at that. There we go. I'm going up one. Lay this in here. There it is. I'm going to push on it, give it the push test, and that looks good. Now, here's the other thing. I made them so tight in here that I'm not sure about the trim. So, yeah, it's 3/4 of an inch. So that's what the trim is. And that'll sit a 1/4 inch behind. So that works out well. 1/4 inch behind the door. So our blue trim will fit on there nicely. So I know that these two are now going to work. So now I can, we'll domino the trim on here sometime later today. We're going to do all this at once. Okay, so we're going to measure for the back now. This is my cut list for the job. I'm just going to go to the next page and write it down, because that's what you do. You just keep writing. So that way when you go to look for something later on, it's all within the same pages. I'm going to make a pretty little picture with lines on it so we know which way the grain's going to go. And this is 21 1/2 inches, which makes sense since the floor is a 20, right? And this should be 28 5/8, and we're going to make it 28 1/2. And they're all going to be 28 1/2, because that's how tall they are. So I just made a stupid little drawing just like that. I'm going to do them all that way. And this is a left stove. All right, so let's go get some more parts. Look at all this crap. So we have way too much crap built up here. Too much stuff going on. We're going to blow this off here. So I'm going to blow off the bench. Got to try to straighten some of this crap up because this is ridiculous. And let's get to the other one. All right, everybody. Well, there you go. Assembling pre-finished cabinets. That series is done. I build most of my dark finished cabinets this way. I build all of my solid color cabinets that I spray this way. I even sometimes do it when I'm spraying just natural colors. So you too can now build pre-finished cabinets anywhere and anyhow. You know all the steps, you know all the rules. You've seen me do it, and if I can do it, you can do it. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and you have an awesome day. Go outside and play, hug somebody you love. Be safe out there, and I'll see you next time right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. I can't even barely get it out. I'm so damn tired. All right, and the next video coming out is going to be about a portable island bar that you can sit at, roll around, and do whatever. It's all made out of quarter sawn red oak, and that'll be up soon. So stay tuned for that, because it's pretty cool. We'll see you later. Have an awesome day. Bye. If you have any questions or comments, please do so below, and I'll see you next time right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. I'm doing this because I'm flying out of here, baby. See ya.
Subscribe now.
I keep doing this with my hands. Hello and welcome. What we're going to do today is we're not going to watch this part of the video. Hopefully nobody notices the difference. Yeah, magnetized. So I'm gonna go on and start making these are crap videos about stuff you buy on Amazon, because this is crap. I'm getting too old for that crap. I'm gonna start building little dinky things. Here we go. That's the way it goes. That was very frustrating. Maybe someday I'll have help. I'll never have help. I'm beyond help. Get the old field job, see how it feels. Looks pretty good. Oh crap. Earth magnet. I have earth magnets stuck to everything, so I could just take everything and just go like that and I don't have to worry about it. The next thing I'm going to do is, what am I going to do next? Beautiful hinged, I got a bar. This beautiful thing right here. Hello. If I do this with my hands, does that make me look more sexy? I'm more sexy. I'm more sexy. No? Oh. All right, there we go. What's next?